So in this video, I'm going to go over the solutions to the phase diagram worksheets. All right, the first question asks what process would occur if something went from -100 to 0 degrees Celsius while at a constant pressure of 2 atmospheres. All right, so we can see the starting point right here. We can see the end point right there. And because that goes from solid to liquid, that would be considered melting. In the next question, we're starting at this point right here. We're going to this point right here, and that would be boiling. The next process goes from this point right here to this point right here, and notice that even though the temperature is rising, it goes, according to this phase diagram, this material would go straight from being a solid to being a gas. So that process is sublimation. Okay, so in question number 4, it says the dot in the diagram represents a liquid. Describe 2 entirely different ways you could freeze the liquid. Okay, well, the first way is the one that we normally think of, which is you reduce the temperature. All right, by reducing the temperature, we would go this way, and we would go from the liquid state to the solid state, and that's what freezing is. But another way that you could freeze this liquid that has nothing to do with temperature, keep the temperature the same, and all you have to do is increase the pressure on it. All right, and if all you do is increase the pressure on this material, it should turn from its liquid state to its solid state. All right, and that would be considered freezing. So the answers would be to either lower the temperature or to increase the pressure. Okay, so in these questions over here, notice that the phase diagram is now different. All right, so it looks, the shape of it looks the same, but the temperatures at which and pressures at which these changes occur are different. All right, for example, you can see here that a material, for this particular material, if it was at -50 and 1 atmosphere, it would be a solid because the dot would be in, or it would either be a solid or a liquid. But over here, the exact same material would clearly be a solid. All right. So remember, each different material has its own phase diagram. All right. So now we're going to be answering questions about using this particular phase diagram. All right. So what process would happen if it went from, so at 0.5 atmospheres, if it went from -100, which would be about right there, to 0. All right, and you can see that would be sublimation. All right, next process. The next question would essentially ask what would happen in this transition going from this point right here, which is 50 degrees at 0.5 atmospheres up to this point. So that's going from a gas to a liquid. That would be condensation. So going from 50 to -50 at 1.5 atmospheres would involve this transition starting here, going to here. That's going from the liquid to the solid state, so that is freezing. So what state of matter would it be at 2 atmospheres and a temperature of 0 degrees Celsius? So 0 degrees Celsius and 2 atmospheres would be roughly about right there. So that material would be in the solid region. All right, and the next one, what state of matter would it be at 1.5 with the temperature of 50? So at 1.5 atmospheres and a temperature of 50 would put it about right there. So that material would be a liquid.